must have been love, but it's all
I told you to play Strawberry Fields. What happened?
Oh, okay. Hang on.
Because then if you would have done that, I could have said, well, Strawberry Fields is for Darryl Strawberry for the event that Anthony Scaramucci did not really invite me to.
Now it's all screwed up.
But this is good, too, because you guys had love, and now...
Well, we still have love. No.
Plenty of love.
Okay, good.
Thank you, Bernie. Love Anthony. Love his wife, Deirdre. In fact, we're going out for dinner in a couple of weeks. We're all going to Vegas for the very big SALT conference. Anthony throws out once a year for Skybridge, his wonderful company. There's plenty of love. I love Mooch.
Good.
I just, sometimes I feel like it's not, what's the word I'm looking for?
Requited.
Mutual.
Thank you. In fact, that I had to reach out to Mooch and practically beg him and John Lupo.
Not practically.
Well, here he is, everybody. He's a tremendous guest. He's brilliant. Owns a great restaurant. Worked for Donald Trump. Multi-millionaire. Brilliant businessman and friend of the show. And the man that did not invite me, really, to the event last night at his restaurant, Anthony Scaramucci.
Hey, Bern, I gotta ask you a question.
Yes, go ahead, Anthony.
Let's say you own a restaurant and somebody books the entire restaurant, closes it down for the wedding. Let's say that happens to you, right? And then, are you a guy that can invite guests to the wedding at the restaurant? I'm just asking. No,
it's not your place.
I mean,
Absolutely.
right? No. So you know who wasn't invited to the Darryl Strawberry shindig last night? Okay, that would be me. I was invited to it. I just want to point this out. Okay, so now, the thing that's devastating about the whole thing for me, because I'm a bro code kind of guy, the fact that I'm responsible for Sid's ED is absolutely devastating to me.
You know,
I don't even know if I can recover from that. I tried to call my shrink in between the commercial break to see if he was okay with the fact that I was responsible for somebody's flaccidity.
Well, this is the latest string of humiliations for Sidney, culminating with this lack of invitation to the Darryl Strawberry thing. And yes,
I'm just asking, if you own the restaurant, Perm, please listen to me because you seem rational. Okay? You own the restaurant, but somebody books the entire restaurant for the night. Are you allowed to bring people to the wedding? I could bring Vince Vaughn.
No. Your point is well taken, but he is very, very insecure. He didn't realize that you didn't.
Well, no. Now look. I was snubbed by Kevin Nealon at Caroline's Comedy Club on Friday. Viciously attacked by Errol Lewis from New York One for no reason on Twitter yesterday. I apologize to you, Anthony. Now I'm going after Strawberry's the guy. Then that you're telling me he's responsible.
I'm not. It's not even that. I was invited to the thing. But the fact that I am responsible for your ED is devastating. I don't even know if I can recover from that.
Thank God Bernie was only joking. It works fine. I promise you that.
For now.
So,
Anthony Scaramucci joining us here on the Bernie and Sid show. So, hey, let's get to something that's going on locally that has had me and Bernie talking about this for weeks now. You know, Cortez has been all over town here, Anthony, and she did an interview walking down the streets on New York One a couple of days ago. And she's out there defending this Omar out of Minnesota who undeniably said anti-Semitic things. I don't care what she says or her folks are trying to defend her. It's a very simple question. How dangerous is a politician like Cortez moving forward?
Well, I mean, look, I never underestimate anybody in life, but she is making so many different mistakes. And by the way, you're looking at the 11-day wonder here. Okay, so I made probably 1,000 mistakes in 11 days. She's making so many mistakes that he's going to hit a landmine here at some point. You know, she's apparently got an $850,000 slush fund that she thinks she's above the law and the Federal Election Commission. So let's see what happens there.
Yeah.
But if you want to talk directly about anti-Semitism, okay, and you guys know I'm a Zionist and I'm very pro-Israel, and I give to a lot of these charities and I speak at a lot of these events. What I'm super worried about for the state of Israel, American Jewry, and the cause of Zionism is that we've now made this a political issue in the country. This used to be uniform and bipartisan, our unstinting support for the state of Israel. And so now there are wackaloons on the left that have decided that they want to hit Israel over the head with a bully club. And I don't like it at all. And I think it's very, very dangerous. And I'm calling on AIPAC and other Jewish organizations to step back. We have to figure out how this became a partisan issue where Republicans are in support of Israel and Democrats now have decided that they're going to jettison Israel. Because at the end of the day, the Israelis represent a beacon of liberty. And if you really understand the Western canon and the Western tradition, the number one minority in the world is the individual. And you have to protect the individual at all costs if you want to have freedom. And the Israelis, as a group, represent that in the world. So for me, I think that's where the damaging stuff is going on right now. And there's a lack of education, and there's identity politics, and there's hatred and shots going from both sides. And I really hope that we can figure that out. But I think if she continues on course that she's on right now, her is not probably going to end up the way she thinks it is.
Now, listen, I agree with everything you said, Anthony Scaramucci, but I would say, I would posit this, that it's sort of refreshing, that at least the silver lining to her saying, and the Representative Omar and Tlaib and the rest of them coming out as being overtly anti-Israel, is that it's exposing the left as the America-Israel hating socialists. Some of us knew they were. Obama lied. Listen, he was definitely siding with the Palestinians, not a pro-Israel guy, but he wouldn't tell you that because he was too smart. It wasn't politically expedient. That picture of him and Farrakhan didn't come out until after he was done being president, but in their hearts, they're anti-Israel essentially. So in a way, it's a good thing that this woman is not smart enough to keep it on the DL, or, to be honest.
I agree with that. As you guys know, I just got back from the Middle East and spent time in both Abu Dhabi and Dubai last week, and it is universal. And I had some people out to dinner last night from the region, including places like Egypt. President Obama is not well thought of in that region. At the end of the day, trying to shift the balance over to the Shia influencers and the theocracy of Iran literally upset the region, upset the template in the region where at least things were going towards less aggression. And so, the fact that whatever people think about Donald J. Trump, the fact that he has reversed those foreign policies in the Middle East is a very, very good sign and will eventually create a path to peace. And so to me, I don't know what's going to happen to Prime Minister Netanyahu. I can't tell you what's going to happen to President Trump. But what I can tell you is that the United States has to stand with Israel, and people have to accept their sovereignty, and they have to accept their right to exist. And so we have to figure out a way to make that more bipartisan. And so I don't know how we're going to do that yet. But this is something I'm personally worried about.
Agreed, me too. And now, one other thing, Anthony, that you've been on record on this show, you said it many times, and I could not agree with you more. The one person that you thought would give Donald Trump his most difficult battle, and I think you're 1,000% right, former New York Mayor Mike Bloomberg, seems to be a lot like Trump, except a little less erratic at times. I'm not saying you would beat him, but I'm with you. I think you give him a very, very good fight. Well, he decided not to run, and he talked about the amount of people running on the left side. That didn't stop Donald Trump from running against 18 people a couple of years ago. Showed a bit of cowardice, if you ask me, out of Mike Bloomberg. What are your thoughts?
Well, I don't know if it's cowardice or just a reality setting. And if you look at the math and you look at the cuckoos on the left, how are you going to get a billionaire from New York who is a Wall Street guy who has a centrist opinion of things? He's not going to gravitate to the blue-collar people in the Midwest like the billionaire real estate developer from New York. And so how is he going to galvanize and get that party's nomination? And so, Mike, whether we like him, dislike him, the mayor has a very good understanding of math, and he didn't see a path to success. So to me, I think it's less about cowardice and more about reality setting in. Flip side, though, you're mentioning something else that I think is very, very important to people. If there are Democrats listening in, please listen. If this man slayed 17 establishment Republicans and then took on the Clinton machine, which was the archetype of the Democratic establishment, he knocked off every single one of them. What are you guys going to do? You're going to put up an establishment Democrat against him in 2020 when he's the American president in a rising economy? I mean, I don't know. I mean, to me, they need a Mike Bloomberg-like figure or somebody that's not going to get drawn into the fire the way the president is capable of doing. The president sends out these moonbeams to people, and then there's like a bomb, like a self-timed by the president to detonate in the person's brain at the time of his choosing. Look at what he did to Elizabeth Warren.
Yeah.
The bomb goes off in her brain. Her staff is telling her not to get the DNA test. She's running out to get the DNA test. You know, and it absolutely devastated her. You know, so now if people think that they're ready for he is the Ronnie Lott of verbal contact. Okay,
That's
he's
good.
coming across the secondary.
I love that.
He's going to knock somebody metaphorically off the stage. Okay, he
No
puts
doubt.
his helmet down into the person's shoulder and sends him off stage. So one of the things I like about the mayor in that context is that he would have had the mental discipline and the verbal dexterity to stay in the game with the president. So these other guys, here's what happens, guys. You spend 40 years trying to modify your language and trying to say things that don't offend anybody, and now you've got 40 years in the political service, public service. You're now running for president against Donald J. Trump. This guy's going to kill you because
That's right.
You're in a verbal box now. You're in a steel-tight box where you're not able to express yourself the way our orange friend in Washington can. You know, and that's the truth.
It's true. Listen, Anthony, we're out of time, but I guess to Sid's point, it was just a little gutless for him to say, I'd have beaten Donald Trump, but I couldn't beat Kamala Harris or Cory Booker and John Hickenlooper or something like that.
Okay, well, that's a different thing. So that's a different thing.
Just shut up. Just say you're not going to run. That's all.
Yeah,
But
that's right.
Well, that's the mayor's ego. Okay, so that to me is the mayor's ego.
Yep.
And you know, unfortunately, let me tell you something, guys. Every time I've gotten my pride and ego involved in my decision making, it's been a disaster for me. When,
No,
when
I think
when those emotions are up, my intelligence goes low.
That's for everybody, not just
So
you.
I think, but I think for the mayor to say that was probably wrong. Even though he's a billionaire, unbelievably successful. Calm it down. We're all mortal, and we're all leaving the earth, you know, before we know it. So, you know, that to me, that's a little bit too aggressive on the ego side.
Anthony, great job as always. We love you. You're a tremendous
bless you,
guest and a
guys.
good friend. Thank you,
Indeed.
Anthony
Yeah.
Scaramucci.
Just remember what Mel Brooks said. Relax. None of us are getting out of here alive, fellas.
so true.
Yep, thanks, Anthony. We'll take a short break. Still lots more to come. Rich Lowry, Larry Kudlow, and Joseph Abboud. Stick around.